Am I the asshole for not taking responsibility for my husband's daughter? For context, I'm 31, my husband is 34, and his daughter is 11. Me and my husband, Kyle, got married 2 years ago, after he divorced the mother of his daughter, Leah. Leah never liked me, and constantly had attitude towards me. I still treated her kindly, cooked, and even cleaned after her, understanding that the divorce hurt her. Kyle works from 8 a.m. 6 p.m., so I was the one who received a call from Leah's school at 1 p.m. The staff told me over the phone that she had gotten in a fight with a 13-year-old girl. Knowing I had to deal with it, I drove over to her school. The principal, Leah, the girl, and the girl's parents were waiting in the office. The principal and the girl's parents accused me of Leah's behavior, saying that I was the reason she acted out. Leah was giving me attitude, also saying that I raised her like this, and I was to blame. Obviously irritated by these accusations, I denied all their allegations, explaining that I was only her stepmom, and that I was barely involved in her life. A few moments later Leah's real mother, Sandra, arrived and sorted it all out with the principal. Leah was suspended, so I had to drive her home. While on the drive back, she yelled at me, saying it was my fault for her suspension, and I should have taken the blame. Am I the asshole for not taking responsibility for my husband's daughter? All names in post are fake to keep personal info safe. Not the asshole, but honestly, I think you should have taken a step back a while ago. You should never have been called to this meeting, and having been called, you shouldn't have gone. It should have been only mom, or if necessary dad should have gotten out of work early. I'm going to be blunt. At this point your de facto relationship with this girl is an over-glorified unpaid babysitter so dad can have her during his parenting time without either cutting down work hours or paying for childcare. This isn't the case with all stepparents. And maybe it will change for you and her. But while I would certainly be nice to the girl and occasionally make attempts at bonding, I'd walk back from any responsibility if I were you. So you went into the room and the principal started telling you were responsible for her behavior? Are we supposed to believe this really happened? Not the asshole. This girl has 2 adult parents. I think it's even a joke that you seemed to be her knock if they called you first. It should be her mother's number they have if her father works long days. Are you the affair partner? You wrote he married you after he divorced Leah's mother. You are the asshole for posting a bullshit story. Next time, get AI to write for you, at least they make more consistent stories. Why did you go to the school if the bio mom was joining a few moments later? Am I the asshole I told my sister-in-law to get a babysitter or a plastic bubble for her kid? My sister-in-law F30 has a toddler under 3. A few months ago she decided that the local family should rotate a family dinner 1 day a month. Locally it's her family, my husband and their younger brother and his new wife. Sister-in-law hosted first at their home. Little brother picked a restaurant. We can't host at home because nephew is allergic to everything and I have cats. I mean it when I say this kid is allergic to everything. Milk, wheat, eggs, soy, tree nuts, peanuts, and half a dozen others that I don't remember. Oh, Hubs and I don't have or want kids. When it was our turn I suggested 3 restaurants that were middle distance for all 3 families. One was a pizza place with a brick oven that I said I preferred. Sister-in-law goes one by one of why she can't bring her fragile child to any of those places. The pizza place was a no-go because of wheat dust in the air giving the kid a rash. I pointed out in the group chat that she always brings baby, toddler food for the kid and they never eat off the menu anyway. I also suggested that she could get a babysitter since she's been trading off babysitting with a mom from her church. I suggested 3 restaurants total and the babysitter, but everything was rejected. That's when I told her to get a babysitter or put the kid in a plastic bubble. I erased a line that definitely would have made me the asshole. The kid is too fragile to survive outside of the womb. Resolution. Instead of a dinner we're going to a botanical garden to see a Christmas thing. I'm sure we'll discover new things that the kid is allergic to while we are there. ETA the second restaurant was a Greek place. That was a no because of yogurt. The third was a place that does Chinese noodles and dumplings. We'd again. Brother-in-law chose a major chain steakhouse. I'm going with you or the asshole, because, let's be real, you sound like a huge one. It's almost as if you don't believe the kid has allergies and that your sister-in-law is making them up for unknown reasons. The kid has a lot of allergies and I'm sure it's very difficult to find a restaurant to eat with him. But try being his parents who have to advocate for him because of assholes like you, or being the kid who has to watch everything he ingests or breathes. Maybe you'll discover the kid is allergic to assholes at the botanical garden. That'll be a win-win for everybody involved. You selected 3 restaurants. You could have simply asked sister-in-law for a list of approved restaurants. Stop being a low-level dick. Your brother selected a restaurant that apparently was fine. This isn't so much about the food experience. It is about getting together as a family and hanging out for a bit. I'm going with you or the asshole, and here's why. Your disdain for the child is completely evident, and I'm 99% sure very obvious to your Sil. I get it, dealing with kids sucks, and that's fine if you don't want them. But then bow out of going in the rotation if you're going to be such a nasty person about it. You are the asshole. One was a pizza place with a brick oven that I said I preferred. You wanted to go to a pizza restaurant with an open brick oven with a child who has a wheat allergy. So you're either an aw or an idiot. Your choice. If you don't like the options given to you, maybe you should get a plastic bubble for yourself to live in. You're an asshole for this line. I'm sure we'll discover new things that the kid is allergic to while we are there. Ha ha, that's really cute. You know people die from severe allergic reactions, right? I realize it's inconvenient for you that this kid has a serious medical condition. I realize mom may not be dealing with it in the most logical way, but she's doing her best to navigate a really trying situation. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. I have severe, life-threatening allergies, and cross-contamination between people is something I have to really watch out for. You know what my family does when we have family dinners, whether at home or out in restaurants. They make sure I'm safe wherever we are, and no one eats foods with nuts in them. They're my most severe allergy, to avoid cross-contamination. And they have never once complained because they love me and care about my well-being. Your tone also makes it sound like you don't even like your sister-in-law and or nephew to begin with. Am I the asshole for bringing my daughter to my own child-free wedding? So my husband, M29, and I, F27, just recently got married. We spent almost a year planning the perfect wedding, taking the right precautions, etc. One of our first rules that we decided was that it was a no-kid wedding. We wanted an environment where we wouldn't have to worry about children running around, getting into things, crying, etc. We made it very clear on our invitation that we didn't want anyone to bring children under 14. We did, however, decide that we wanted to bring our daughter, 11 months, and I wanted to hold her during the reception and photo taking, and then have a family friend drive her home and wait for the babysitter to get there before coming back. Before we settled on that friend, we asked a few people. One of the people we asked was my husband's close friend, Darren's wife Jessica, fake names. She declined because she didn't want to drive, which worked out fine as we were able to find someone else. So on the day of our wedding, after we told everyone several times about the no kids rule, she showed up with her 4-year-old. I was obviously taken aback, but I went to ask her about it. She told me that, since I was bringing my kid, it was okay if she took hers. Honestly, I was furious. I tried to stay calm and tell her that this is a child-free wedding and she can't let her kid run around, but if she took her kid home she was welcome to come back. She started yelling at me about how since I had a kid it wasn't fair that she couldn't have hers. Her son at this point was already climbing on things, as she just let him run free. I told her that this was her last chance or she'd need to leave. She rolled her eyes, sat down in a chair, and just watched her son run wild. Eventually, her husband Darren convinced her to get her kid and leave, but it ruined the whole first part of my wedding. It's been a few weeks now and I've been thinking, maybe I am in the wrong? I said no kids at my wedding but brought my own. A lot of people in my life are also saying it was hypocritical at the least. So, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Your wedding, your rules. And, an unsupervised, unrelated 4-year-old is very different to the bride's 11-year-old daughter. I'm going to go with not the asshole. You never, ever assume your child is welcome to a wedding, especially a small child. Even if you know the happy couple is bringing a child of their own, it doesn't mean you can bring yours. Not to mention that your kid is 11 and hers is 4. Most 11-year-olds I know can be trusted to behave themselves for a while, whereas I know a lot of 4-year-olds that don't know what behave yourself means. That she doubled down and watched her kid run wild is a huge screw you. Appalling. Edit to add. I so misread. Op's child is 11 months, not 11 years. My point remains that you never assume your kid is welcome at a wedding. But oh, I had a good laugh at myself when I realized why Op wanted to hold their child in the pictures. Not the asshole. Reading the early part of your post, I figured that the baby would be there for at most an hour for picture-taking purposes. It's your wedding, so Childfree me would be willing to cut you some slack on bringing the baby. An 11-month-old baby is a lot less active than a 4-year-old child who appears to have no discipline at all. That you put a condition of not having children under 14 on the invitation that your friends accepted should have protected you from Jessica bringing her child. That's the invitation that she accepted, and she shouldn't have unilaterally decided to bring her child just because you were bringing your child to the wedding briefly for photos. Not the asshole. Bride and groom always has the right of exception to any rule they make for their wedding, especially for their own child that is being included in the ceremony. Since I was bringing my kid, it was okay if she took hers. The difference is, it's your kid in your wedding. It wasn't fair. Well, life isn't fair, Jessica. Sorry. You and your kid need to learn that now. Not the asshole at all. Not the asshole. I probably would reconsider the friendships. At this point is not about the rule, is about the disrespect. It's your wedding, her child being there and your child being there aren't on the same universe. You wanting your child there for a couple of photos is one thing. Her bringing her toddler and letting him run around free, I don't have words for it. To top it off, she had the audacity to yell at you. Am I the asshole for snapping at my friend for touching my curly hair while it was drying and ruining it? I'm 23 female, my friend is the same age as me. For my entire life I have had very curly hair. I'm white, but I have 3C curls. Anyways, super curly. My friend has kind of wavy hair, but not super wavy and definitely nowhere near my curls. She has this habit of being super touchy with me in general, but especially with my hair. It drives me insane. Anyone with curly hair knows how delicate they are and how temperamental they can be. Also, how difficult it is to fix your hair once it has been ruined. I think I'm a bit emotionally traumatized from growing up with curly hair because I was constantly laughed at, judged, and touched because of my hair, and it really is a sensitive subject for me. I love my hair now and I take good care of it and it looks great, but I just can't handle it when people touch it without asking. They don't understand that they just ruined my hard work and I'll have to wet my hair again to fix the damage they have caused. Anyways, this weekend I was getting ready and my friend was over at my place. I had showered and was letting my hair air dry. It was in that in-between stage of wet and dry where it looks really weird and flat, curly-haired people know, but I wait until it's fully dry to fluff it out and make it look good. My friend came up behind me and scrunched my hair while running her fingers through it. I almost cried. I legit snapped at her and was like, what the fuck? You just totally ruined my hair. I was definitely rude. I don't care though. She has no idea what it's like to have someone just completely ruin your hair that now can't really be fixed. I was honestly furious, and not to be dramatic, but she really did ruin it. I had to fix the pieces that she had turned frizzy and stringy and my hair just looked bad that day as a result. She told me I was crazy and need to chill out about my hair. I told her that it's really frustrating to do a whole wash day hair routine just for someone to rake their fingers through it, ultimately messing it up. She said she was sorry, but she's still frustrated that it made me so upset. I feel like it's just insane to touch people for no reason, and I'm so tired of people grabbing my hair too. I know I might sound obsessed about having perfect hair, but it's really not even that. My hair is just so curly and also so fine that it doesn't really take much at all to mess it up, so it's super upsetting to me when someone is rough with it on purpose and knows how I am about my hair. So, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. How the fuck does someone go this long in life and not realize how fucking disrespectful it is to be touching people's hair? Most people have this figured out in grade school. Embarrassing. Not the asshole. She's still frustrated that it made me so upset. This isn't a thing she gets to complain about. She's upset that she made you upset. She wants a pass. Not the asshole. This is a very clear and easy boundary. Don't touch my hair without my expression. Immediate, in the moment permission, should be the standard for anyone with any sense. Your friend deserved telling off. Maybe, just maybe, if this was the first time she had ever invaded your personal space, we know it's not, you make that clear in your comments about her being super touchy with you. You would walk it back a little afterwards and explain to her why you BLW up at her, and she would understand and respect your boundary moving forward. You need to have a hard chat with this friend. Boundaries are valid, and if she can't respect them, then she's not a friend, she's someone using you to get what she wants out of the relationship. Not the asshole, and I ain't even reading all that. These 2 sentences alone are enough. She has this habit of being super touchy with me in general, but especially with my hair. It drives me insane. The curls got nothing to do it. No one who isn't a romantic partner or a parent of a young child needs to be touching anyone else's hair ever under any circumstances without explicit permission, unless said hair is literally on fire or swarming with bees. Not the asshole. I have curly hair and my family knows to give the head a wide berth when it's drying. I have one shot for 3/4 days of decent hair. But beyond that, you're not the asshole because you get to decide if you are touched or not. It doesn't matter why you don't want someone to touch you, they don't get to touch you if you say so. My hair dried naturally into ringlets when I was in secondary school. My friends were allowed to boing one curl once a year on their birthday. Anyone touching my hair at any other time got snapped at, though I will admit to laughing the time my bestie was sitting behind me and managed to thread about 6 pens into different curls without me noticing until I turned my head and they all swung round and hit my cheek.